Hi everybody, welcome to another tutorial. This afternoon we're going to be looking at the differences between a typical 12 volt battery charger, a dumb charger, versus a trickle charger. So without further ado, let's get into it. So they both do the same thing, but they have their minor differences. So we're going to start off with what I call the dumb charger, because the reason why I call it a dumb charger is because this charger pretty much just throws voltage into the battery. It has no regulator in the sense of like slowing down the volts or decreasing the volts when the battery's charged. We see a trickle charger actually decreases the volts. So we're going to experiment with with the normal typical charger. We'll look at it first, how it all works and how to do it, and then we'll do the same thing with the trickle charger. So yeah, let's get into it. So we've got a battery here that is already in the motorbike. So what we're going to do is we're going to hook the positive and the negative to we're going to hook the positive and negative to the dumb charger, and we're going to see if there's life in this battery, because with a dumb charger the only thing you can really really diagnose with it is the battery either the battery has or hasn't got life, and if it's charging or not. So usually what you want to do first with any charger when you're hooking up 12 volt chargers, whether it's trickle or whether it's a dumb charger, you've got to hook the battery up to the charging system first before you plug it in. So we'll do that right now. So we're going to take the negative, and we're also going to take, where is it? I need that positive. So we've got the negative here, and we also got a positive as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the negative terminal and we're going to hook it to this battery. So there we go, that's hooked up to the main terminal. I'll just keep the trickle charger leads away just so I don't get confused. And now we're going to grab the positive lead. And just be careful when you're hooking up positive, because positive is the red is the live side, so you don't want to arc anything onto this side, otherwise you can create sparks, of course. That's why this whole this rubber flap is covering the positive, because you don't want that to arc on anything, or else you'll be in deep trouble and you either damage the battery, the equipment, or the charger. So let's hook up the positive to that. And the cool thing about it is you can actually touch the steel. The reason why you can do this too is you can actually touch the steel while you're hooking up the battery while the power's off, and you won't get electrocuted. So those are hooked up. So to indicate that there's life in the battery, there's actually a light on. So this light just indicates that there's life. It doesn't say how much, it only indicates that there is life in the battery. So what we're going to do next with a dumb charger is we're going to plug it in, and we're going to see if this indicates the battery's charged or the battery is flat. So what you want to do is you want to grab the outlet. In this case we're using a 240 volt outlet, which is here, and we're going to plug it into this plug over here. So let's just quickly do that now. So we're going to plug the charger in. Oh, it'll help that the prongs are not crooked. Yep, that might help, or else it's not going to plug in. So I'm just going to quickly straighten the prongs. So now that the prongs are straight, now we can plug her in. Actually, I'll stick you down just so I can plug it in properly, only because it's hard to plug in with just one hand, and I don't want to electrocute myself. So now it's plugged in. And if we look at the charger, so this is indicating, so this is indicating almost charged. So the green light is on, but it's not fully on. So this indicates that it's got a little bit of charge. But in saying that, you've got to be careful, because sometimes that can be a false reading. So the charge light is on, but it's not on fully. So that indicates it just needs a slight top up. But this is how you indicate how if the battery is charging. The middle light, which is the red light, that is actually the charging light. So that indicates that the battery is charging. The light on the left just indicates the battery has got life in it. And the light on the right that you can just see is indicating it's almost charged. So give it about, I'd say another 5 or 10 minutes. And this battery will actually be fully charged. I went for a ride on it this morning, and I turned the starter over a little bit, so it's probably just lost a little bit of power. But this is how this is all you could diagnose off a dumb charger. So now we're going to unplug this because I'm only demonstrating this for charging purposes, and we're going to move on to the trickle charger. So let me just unplug that. Yep, so that's unplugged. And then now we're going to disconnect from the battery. So always disconnect the positive first, because the positive is live. You always disconnect the live wire first, and then the negative. So yeah, so that is the demonstration of a dumb charger. So now we are actually going to be moving on to a trickle charger. So the difference between the dumb charger and the trickle charger, first and foremost, this actually has a little voltmeter on it. So this can actually tell you how much voltage is in the battery. And the good thing about this charger is you can actually leave it on for about months. You can actually leave this charger on for months. Where you see this charger over here, if you leave it on for overnight without watching your battery, you can actually blow the top off the battery. So that's the differences between a trickle charger and a normal charger. Is you've got to monitor, definitely monitor this charger. This one you don't have to really, because what happens is when the battery actually gets full, it slows down the charger, hence why it's called a trickle charger. So it'll slowly just feed power into it till it gets to a certain voltage, and once it gets full, it'll actually slow the voltage down to a trickle. That's why they're called trickle chargers. So now we'll hook this one up to the battery and just see what it typically reads. So what I've determined just from the dumb charger is it's almost charged, so we're not going to demonstrate charging with a trickle charger because you can actually leave it on. But what I'm going to do is separate the wires, because we don't, as I said before, we don't want to get the dumb charger and the trickle charger wires confused, or else it can lead to unexpected results if we hook the wrong ones up. Say for example, a positive from the dumb charger and a negative from the trickle charge can lead to unexpected results. But we've got the alligator clip. So this is the positive, so we're going to hook this up to the positive of the battery. Same thing, just be careful and make sure this doesn't arc on anything. The steel doesn't touch another steel like this plate here, or else you can cause serious sparking with this plate if it was to touch the positive and this at the same time, because it'll start inducting electricity. And since there's no earth, yeah, you'll get a shock. Because, yeah, so we're going to hook this up to the positive. To indicate positive on this is these two ways that they've done it with this charger. First, it's the color, the red, and also this little thing here is how I indicate positive, because if you go on the negative side, it doesn't got that little thing in the cord. So what we're going to do is we're going to now hook up the negative. Just get the wires out of the way, because as I said, last thing you need is wires and shit into touching. Oops, see, I've got to be careful because I'm actually touching that plate and I could actually cause sparks. So there's the negative lead there. So now we want to put this to the negative, and since it's all plugged in, we should have life on the charger itself. So here we go, this is your typical charger. So you've got your voltage, so you've got 11.8 volts, 13 volts, and also 14.1. So when it reaches 14.1, that means that your battery is charged, and what it'll do, as you can see with the symbol here, it actually will just rotate, so it won't charge it, but it'll just send a current just around the battery, just to keep the battery healthy. Because the reason why they use trickle chargers in the first place, besides can stay months on the charger, is winter time. is actually a killer for battery. So this actually preserves your battery from getting killed just by winter, because it's the coldness actually kills the battery. So just leaving your battery on a trickle charge in winter time is actually good for your battery, because it keeps it charged, and also it doesn't kill it. It prevents it from killing. So that is the difference between a trickle charger and a normal typical dam charger. So there are slight differences, but I'd say if you don't want to really monitor your stuff, and if you just want to put on charger and then forget it, and then you want to use it one day without actually monitoring it, it's best to get a trickle charger. The trickle charger will do exactly the same as a dam charger, except for minor differences. See, with a trickle charger, see if your battery drops, if your battery itself drops below 11.8 volts, your dam charger will actually not charge it properly. So this is where the trickle charger comes in. So what will happen is it'll indicate that it's charged at first, and then it'll slow down the charge. But when your battery is low, that's what you want. You want a slower charge, so it'll actually revive the battery in a way. But don't put my word on it. This doesn't fix batteries, but it could be a possibility to reviving a dead battery. So yeah. So at the moment it's showing 13. So that's actually a good voltage. If this light wasn't on, that would be a concern, because that means that the dam charger wouldn't be able to charge it. See? So that is the difference between a trickle charger and a dam charger. So I just thought I'd do this tutorial for learning purposes, as I always do. But without further ado, you've been listening to Robbie T again. Hopefully you have a good day and good night. And until next time, I like to say, ciao ciao.